A man, a plan, and a chainsaw, and finally Argentina ends currency control with the US dollar. This is actually back from 2023. A lot of people don't know this. No, it was not Elon Musk. It was this guy who came. It was an actual real chainsaw that he was wielding then in the campaign, promising to hack, slash, and destroy government spending, which he actually did. And guess what? It worked. It worked up to the point that now Argentina finally can remove the controls of the currency exchange rate, and freedom wins. Keep in mind, this is the first president that campaigned as a libertarian and actually managed to win on such a promise. He said that things would be tough. They were. Now things are better. They are. It was not easy, man. It was not easy at all. It was quite brutal. The hacking, of course, on all of the government ways, but also, let's be completely honest, lots of things that were necessary. This is the drama that we have with people that are either one or the other. It's either white or black. Well, yeah, on some cases it is, especially when it comes to corruption. There's no grays. Either you allow corruption or you don't. But then there's gonna be a lot of gray in between in terms of, well, there are government plans. There is aid for people that need it. There is support for things that are necessary, and that's going to hurt. If you cut back on those things, yeah, especially poor people will hurt, and Argentina had a lot of poor people. That was made perfectly clear during the campaign. People still voted for it, and after over a year of dealing with very painful reality, finally Argentina has less poverty than when he became president, even though it did go up during the first months. It's now below that point and looking better than ever, mostly because there's a fiscal balance. Argentina is spending the money it can spend and not a single cent more. It is not going into deficit anymore. It is able to repay whatever loans it has, whatever money it owes, and that allows them to get more capital. That allows them to get more support from everyone involved, local or from abroad. It creates a climate of trust, of stability, in terms of we're not going back. And very important to this is this guy needs to win again, or someone on the same line, someone that will continue with a job of not wasting money and only spending the money you can spend, and nothing else than that, right? Yes, you can have debt, you can have you can have loans, but it also needs to go within your budget. Can you pay it back? Okay, you can get it. All right, you have to pay it. Fine, but it needs to be balanced, and that was painful. Now, it also has to be said, there were many sacrifices. There were things that Argentina was not willing to compromise on. Argentina still has universal healthcare. Argentina still has universal education. You can become a freaking doctor in Argentina without spending a single cent in terms of university fees and budgets and whatnot. You can do that. These are core values in Argentina, and you cannot compromise with those things. Even Javier Milei was not willing to do that, which I appreciate. I don't think he could have done it. Argentina has always been that from the generation of our parents, coming from war-torn Europe, in which only the elites could afford to go to college. Only the wealthy could have a degree. No, in Argentina, you could go to a public university and become a doctor, right? You could do these things. And that, I mean, it's a cultural thing. These are values that are ingrained, and you're not willing to lose those things. As good or bad as it may be, and public healthcare is quite lacking in many aspects, but it is there. You will get treated. You will not get thrown to the streets. And at the same time, you can pay for your own private healthcare. And because there is a public one that works, the private one is a lot more affordable. That's how it usually works in most countries, right? And those are things that I think it's it's important to sustain. At the same time, you need to be smart. It was the case that most neighboring countries, they would abuse a system. They would cross the border and get treated for free in Argentina and then go back to their own countries. It was even advertised in countries like Bolivia and Paraguay. Yeah, go to Argentina, get treated for free. Don't spend money here, right? Or don't put that weight on us. No, that's something that allows people, there were sacrifices involved in these things, like cutting back on aid for athletes. And in the case of this woman, Paula Pareto, she actually won the Olympics a few years ago, gold in judo for Argentina, and she's also a doctor. Why is she a doctor? Because she's wealthy? No, because she studies a lot. And even though being very limited in her budget and whatnot, she could study and become an Olympic gold medalist and also a doctor in the public university. These are things that really make you proud of what has these achievements, and you don't give up on those things, right? Even when you're tightening that budget as much as you can, what my point here is, it can be done. It can be done. All of it can be done. You can become a judo gold medalist and a doctor at the same time, with a lot of aid from her parents that were helping her with money, because you don't have much time left if you're becoming a doctor and an Olympic medalist at the same time. But she didn't have to spend any money. No, all of that was taken care of in that end, right? She only had to work very hard and study very hard and achieve things, but the system allowed that to happen. And even a system that was chainsawed to the extreme still could have that happen, right? Still allow that to happen. And it managed to survive the storm that was the first year, surviving that. And now with fiscal balance and economic freedom, it was the right moment. The US dollar is maybe at its lowest it's been in a long time, so liberating the peso in relation to the dollar is easier now more than ever. So yeah, it was a good move. I hope it continues, and I hope we don't go back to the old ways. Crucial is that you have this guy, and I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not a Make Argentina Great Again guy. Right, I do want my country to do very well, but I don't fall in love with any politician. I'm not a cult follower of anyone, right? So there's lots of things this guy has done that I really appreciate, and there's a few things that I really don't agree with. Economically, yeah. Economically, this is the way. No doubt, this is the way to go, right? But it needs to sustain. Either he has to win, or someone with the same political line needs to win in his behalf or be supported by him. But we have to set the course and never turn around and go back in the opposite direction like we did with previous administrations. Guys, good news, at least for Argentina. These are good times. And yeah, remember, if you want to learn more about all of this stuff in terms of survival, economic preparedness, you have the books in the links there below. Surviving the Economic Collapse and Street Survival Skills, really now necessary more than ever, given everything you see happening all over the world. Take care. Have a great weekend.